Marvin Bagley scores 25 points. Cade Cunningham scores 22. And Killian Hayes continues to impress and show development in his game in the Pistons' loss against the Washington Wizards. However, there's one thing that I'm getting real sick of seeing. We'll talk about this on today's episode of the Locked On Pistons podcast.
You are Locked On Pistons, your daily Detroit Pistons podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What's the deal? Welcome back to another episode of the Locked On Pistons podcast. This episode is brought to you by NBA Top Shot. NBA Top Shot is the future of being an NBA fan. Own officially licensed rare NFTs of the greatest moments from NBA history. Sign up today at lockedon.nbatopshot.com. I want to thank you guys for making Locked On Pistons your first listen of every single day. We are free and available on all your podcast platforms. And per usual, I'm your host, Kuka Hill. You can find me over on Twitter at Kuka Hill. And if you have not already, head to our YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. It's the best way to support the podcast. We're on our road to 2,000 subscribers. I believe we're just under 20 subscribers away. Continue to show Locked On that we are the best and fastest growing fan base at the Locked On Network. So again, head to Locked On Pistons on YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button. I'd really appreciate it. But yeah, the Pistons had a really fun loss against the Washington Wizards. They lost by 3 points, 100-97. But it was a fun loss. It was a nice game. It was a fun game to watch. And it was a loss that you'll take, especially at this point of the season. The Pistons did not play Kelly Olynyk. Jeremy Grant ended up not playing after halftime. He dealt with a calf strain. They ended up playing their 10-day contract dude that they just signed the previous day, Braxton Key. He ended up playing 18 minutes in this game. So at this point in the season, you're starting to see a little bit of tanking behavior, but this was a fun game. Cade had a really good game. Marvin Bagley went crazy. Killian Hayes had another good game. We'll talk about all three of those guys at some point during the podcast. But first, listen to this. This is getting more than ridiculous. I can't take it no more. It's unacceptable. It's absolutely unacceptable, and I can't take it no more. I can't do it. I can't do it. So let me just read you guys this. This is free throws attempted among all Rookie of the Year contenders this season, and this was tweeted out by Pistons Muse. Evan Mobley has 239. Franz Wagner has 213. Jalen Green has 192. Scotty Barnes with 190. And then if you just take an incredible drop-off, you will get Cade Cunningham at some point down that list at 144. Evan Mobley has damn near 100 more free throws attempted than Cade Cunningham. Same with Franz Wagner. Jalen Green has almost 50 more free throw attempts. Same with Scotty Barnes. You want to know what the craziest thing about this is? Let's look at who is taking the most shots. Because, people who don't take as many shots won't be taking as many free throws. So you'd look at this, you'd probably think, Cade's probably not taking as many shots as these guys. Nope. Not true. You want to know who leads all rookies in shot attempts? Cade Cunningham at 928. Next is Franz Wagner at 924. Barnes at 828. Over exactly 100 less shots than Cade. But he has over 50 more free throw attempts than Cade. And then this is the favorite one right here. Evan Mobley at 790 attempts. But yet, he's almost 200. He's like 160 free throws away. Or 160 attempts away from Cade. But he's taking damn near 100 more free throws than Cade. And it was a pure example yesterday against the Washington Wizards where Cade Cunningham ends this game with 0 free throw attempts. He had 22 shot attempts, only 2 of them from beyond the arc. So it wasn't like he was just playing beyond the arc. He's been playing at the basket for months now. He's been predicating his game off getting to the rim for months now. And the refs refused to call any fouls for him. It's gotten so bad that the refs gave him an and one in the third quarter. He went to the free throw line to shoot the and one, and I've never seen it before in my life. As a dude's going to the free throw line, all of a sudden the refs huddle up, take away the and one, and then it says an offensive foul to him. I've never seen it before. It was so bad that even Dwayne Casey had to get teed up. He had to challenge it, and then guess what happens? They don't give Cade his and one back. They don't do that. Of course not. They can't let Cade get one damn free throw. They can't. No, can't do that. What they can do for you though It's making an inadvertent whistle. So your layup will count. We'll just take the foul away altogether. What? Like, this is getting more than ridiculous, man. I don't know what Cade has to do. I don't know what he has to do. He legit doesn't get foul calls. Screw free throws. He just doesn't get foul calls on shots, on fouls that aren't even on shots. He won't even get those ones. It got to a point tonight where Cade started laughing at the ref. He got teed up tonight. I don't blame him. I'd be racking up the leading technicals in the league if I was him. Like, this is just it's wild, bro. Again, like we've talked about in the podcast over and over and over and over for the last few weeks. Heck, going back months. The first month of the season, okay, I'd understand it because he was taking a lot of his shots from beyond the arc. He wasn't trying to go to the basket as much. Ever since the first month of the season, that's completely flipped. Literally, he's spending his entire time in the paint, his entire time in the restricted area. That's where Cade's been making his bread and butter. That's where he's literally been living, in there, playing extremely well, doing it, where the physicality takes place. And still, he's not getting no foul calls. I don't know what he has to do. It's not just like a rookie thing. Like I just told you, all these other rookies are getting all these foul calls. I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't know what he has to do. I don't know. I seriously don't know what he has to do. I don't want to hear he needs to play more physical. He's playing physical. He got called for one of those little push-offs when you drive to the basket. Dude, if refs are really going to start calling that on Cade, bro, like that happens literally on almost every drive to the basket by every NBA player. As long as you don't exaggerate it to where it's a full extension of the arm and it's clear as day, they never call it. They never call that. That's always allowed. No player ever gets called for that. And Cade got called for it almost twice. They did once, and then they almost did it a second time. But then they just said, screw it. We'll just make it an inadvertent whistle. It's getting ridiculous. Can't keep happening. I don't know what Dwayne has to do. I don't know what Cade has to do. I don't know. I don't know. But all I know is that it can't keep happening. It can't keep going like this. Something has to be done at some point. I don't know if like the team needs to go ahead and send like film to the NBA League's office, or I don't know. They probably already have done that, but until it gets fixed, I'm gonna come on this podcast and we're gonna talk about it every single day until they fix it, because Cade's not getting his respect and he deserves it. He's the damn rookie of the year. Act like it. Like, damn. When we come back, we'll talk about how all three of those guys we've mentioned, Cade, Marvin Bagley, and Killian Hayes have played well in this game and recently. We'll talk about that coming up. But first, let me tell you guys a little bit about our first sponsor, BetOnline.net. After months of playing, college basketball has determined the top teams for the Final Four and will determine this year's national champion this coming week. BetOnline.net is your number one source for all your betting needs and sports info. From all the latest odds, contests, and player props, you name it. BetOnline remains the best spot for all your latest sports development, including podcasts and reviews for all the leagues this season. And it's not just basketball. BetOnline is your continued source for all your sports wagering information needs, including live betting in your favorite Vegas casino games. For example, if you go ahead over to betonline.net, you'll see this game, which I'm looking at right here, the Philadelphia 76ers versus the Los Angeles Clippers. And right now, they have the over-under total points this game at 218. I'm going to go ahead and say that they take the under here, that they're going to go under 218 points at minus 105. I take that right there at betonline.net. Stuff like that is what you can do over there at betonline.net. It's a lot of fun, real easy, very self-explanatory. So head to the website today and use your mobile device and learn more about the trends and action today. Again, head to the website today or use your mobile device and learn more about the trends and action today. BetOnline, where the game starts. So I want to thank you guys again for making Locked On Pistons your first listen of every single day. We're free and available on all your podcast platforms. And if you haven't already, head to our YouTube channel at Locked On Pistons. Hit that subscribe button. I'd really appreciate it. It's the best way to support the podcast. Closing in on 2,000 subscribers. Continuing to show Locked On will be the best and fastest growing fan base at the Locked On Network. But my guy, Killian Hayes, has himself another good game. He's showing more and more growth game by game by game. Also, I want to give props to Dwayne Casey, because Corey Joseph only played 22 minutes in this game. Killian Hayes played 28. So still, Killian Hayes is getting the best of the minutes here. I would like to see Killian stay above 30 minutes, but as long as he's getting a lot more minutes than Corey Joseph, we're winning out here. That's a good move. So I'm happy about that. Over the last 3 games for Killian Hayes, He's averaging 11.7 points per game, 6.3 rebounds a game, 5.0 assists, 1.3 steals, 1.3 blocks, 46% from the field, and 50% from deep. Those numbers right there are numbers I believe that he's capable of doing in his future. I think he could probably do something resembling this for the rest of this season. Somewhere around 10 points a game, 6 and 5, 1, and somewhere probably around 44% from the field and around 38% from deep. I think that's something he can do for the rest of the season. That's something that they should be looking forward to him to do next season after another offseason of developing and working on his offensive game. What you saw in this game against the Washington Wizards, and it started off immediately on his, as soon as he came in the game, his first offensive possession, he drove and took Ish Smith to the basket. And if you know Ish Smith, which you guys all should because he was a former Piston, and we saw him for many years, Ish is like 6 foot, maybe, like probably like 5'11", and is very small. And with Killian Hayes is 6'5", 220. And something that we've begged for, something that I've talked about in the podcast, and multiple, everybody's talked about, is that Killian Hayes needs to act like he's 6'5", 220. Like, use your size, use your strength on these drives. Like, realize how strong you are. Realize how big you are. Like, if he realized that and used that to his drives, it would make life so much easier for him. And on the very first possession of the game, he did exactly that. He drove to the rim. Ish kind of cut him off at the rim, but it didn't matter because Killian just bumped him and used his pure strength to completely remove him from the play and finish the layup. That right there shows you a develop or improved confidence and development on his drives. So that was amazing to see on his very first drive of the game. However, the rest of the game, you saw what will happen if Killian simply remains aggressive as a scorer. There were multiple plays. I tweeted out some clips. If you're not following me on Twitter, @Kukio, go follow that so you can stay up to date with all those kind of things during the game. I live tweet the games so you know what plays I'm talking about. For those of you guys watching on YouTube, I cannot bring up these clips. It's copyright. Can't do that. I have to be smart out here, fellas. Multiple plays tonight, though, that really pays off for Killian Hayes simply because he was being aggressive. There was a few drives in the second quarter that he tried to get all the way to the basket. One of them he finished. One of them was on a fast break. He took it all the way and finished over Danny Avdija. Was, by the way, I don't understand how that one wasn't a foul, but whatever. I'll digress. And then he had another drive to the basket on Thomas Bryant. What happens here is that Killian had exhibited to the Washington Wizards, hey, I'm going to be a scoring threat. Hey, you're not about to just not guard me. I'm going to try to get to the basket. I want to score. I'm going to score this basketball. And what ended up happening on like the very next possession after those two plays is that he took Ish Smith off the dribble, beat him off the dribble, got all the way to the basket. And because of this, because teams just watched him attempt multiple layups before this and finish, Thomas Bryant now is like, okay, this guy's actually trying to score. I have to come and try to stop this guy from scoring. He rotates over, jumps with Killian Hayes, and then as soon as that happens, that enables Killian to do his favorite pass, his lob pass. And we all know that the best thing that Killian does on offense is play make, is his passing. But those kind of angles, those passing angles and the passing opportunities are not open if you don't reveal yourself as a scoring threat. If defenses don't feel like they have to command attention to you, then there's no passing lanes that will be open. And simply because Killian had been aggressive to start the game, literally in the first like 5 minutes of his playing time tonight, just because he exhibited that he was going to be aggressive, he was able to get a lob pass off to Isaiah Stewart. Now, Isaiah Stewart didn't finish it. He's at the best lob threat. We all know this. However, it's the point that on previous plays, when Killian was aggressive, he was able to get to the basket and try finishing. Then once teams saw that was going to start happening, now defenses have to respect it. Now that opens up your best ability, which is passing. And you saw it again. It was a play in the third quarter. It was the third quarter or the beginning of the fourth quarter that Cade Cunningham drove down the middle of the lane, kicked out to Killian Hayes in the corner, and Killian Hayes, who had already hit 2 threes at this point, Killian Hayes, and again, 2 threes. He attempted and made 2 threes. So because he's attempting threes and exhibiting that he can at least hit one of them, but at least showing that he's going to take these threes, defenses are now they had to respect him tonight last night against the Washington Wizards. Guess what happened? A guy closed out hard on Killian Hayes, and Killian Hayes was able to give him a pump fake, and it actually worked. So the dude went flying past him. Killian was able to take a pump fake, take one dribble in, attract another defender before he get to the basket. And guess what happened? Easy kick out right next to him to Ryan McGruder because he attracted 2 defenders to him simply off being able to hit a catch and shoot 3 and pump faking. Simply off pump faking and taking one dribble in, Killian Hayes took 2 defenders out of the play. And you already know if you take 2 defenders out of the play, Killian Hayes will be able to make you pay because he is his best when he's able to play make. These are tiny developments that you really want to see from Killian Hayes. And really, And I've said this for I've said this multiple podcasts. I've said it for a long time. This was game 83 for Killian Hayes. He just finished the rookie season. The kind of development that you've seen him take over the first 82 games of the season is the type of development you would have seen during an actual rookie season if he stayed healthy and if he was able to play throughout his rookie season. And if his rookie season, obviously, he didn't have that hip injury, and if there was a full 82 games. Like, if he was able to play a full rookie season, you would have saw this development throughout then, and it would have been fine. But he wasn't able to play a whole rookie season. He's just now at the end of his second season playing a rookie season's worth of games. So it's natural development that you're seeing from him, and I'm really enjoying it. Again, over his last 3 games, he's looked really well, but it's going beyond the last 3 games. The stats weren't as good, but I was telling you guys on the podcast that the signs were pointing to good development. He was trying to get to the rim more. He was being more aggressive getting to the rim, and that it was going to eventually result in good things for him and the team. And you're seeing it happen over the last 3 games. All Killian has to do is remain aggressive and remain looking to score. He's not going to be the best finisher right now. He's looking good these past 3 games. He'll probably have another struggling game where he can't finish things around the rim. He'll probably have a few games where he just isn't able to score as much. He'll probably shoot like 30% from the field. That'll happen. But if he finishes out the season playing as aggressive and getting more and more and more aggressive each game as he's been doing the last 3 games and really over the last few weeks, you will see a good player next season. I promise you guys that. You guys will see a good player because that's the main thing that needs to change with him. His attitude, his aggressive mindset. That needs to change, and it will open up everything for him and for the Pistons. A tremendous game from him against the Washington Wizards. It was incredibly fun to watch it happen. Incredibly fun to watch it take place. And listen, let me read you this stat line. Screw the scoring real quick. 10 points, but 6 rebounds, 4 assists, 3 blocks, and 2 steals. He fills the stat sheet. He can affect the game in every which type of way, which is why I told you guys in the last podcast, I refuse to believe that this too is possible to bust. There's no way. There's zero way. He has too good of a foundation for him to flat out just not be an NBA player. It can't happen. There's no, if he doesn't become an NBA player, it would be the biggest shock of my life. He has too good of a foundation for that. If he could continue to improve on his scoring and continue to improve on his aggressiveness, he'll be a really good player next season. I'm telling you, that's what you need to watch for the rest of the season. Tremendous last 3 games from Killian Hayes. What you want to see, capped it off with another good game against the Washington Wizards. Fun game. Great game from Killian Hayes. When we come back, Marvin Bagley. He had 25 points in this game tonight on 10 of 16 shooting. And while every game he hasn't scored 20 plus, what he did tonight, I'll tell you guys why. That's something we've been seeing him do since he joined the Pistons. What am I talking about? You'll see in the upcoming segment. But first, I have to tell you guys a little bit about some of our sponsors. Let me tell you guys a little bit about NBA Top Shot. NBA Top Shot's the official licensed NFT of the NBA. Connect with the community of hundreds of thousands of NBA fans as a natural progression of fantasy sports, a way to upgrade your experience as an NBA fan. This is the future of what being an NBA fan looks like. It's part trading cards. You guys all know about the trading cards growing up, but it's not just a still moment on a card. It's a moment. It could be one of the greatest moments in NBA history. A flowing play, a flowing moment, a credible dunk. My first one I got on NBA Top Shot was Jeremy Grant's dunk on Daniel Tice. It wasn't just a still shot of him dunking. You have the whole play of the drive, dunk, everything. Akin to the stock market for the NBA, every day millions of dollars worth of NFTs are traded back and forth between tens of thousands of NBA fans around the world. Investors include Michael Jordan and Kevin Durant, not to mention Will Smith, the actor. There are also a lot of NBA players in the community like Tyrese Halliburton, Cole Anthony, and Harrison Barnes. I hear people ask all the time, why would I buy a highlight when I can just watch it on YouTube for free? It's not just about watching a highlight. It's about having ownership stake in what's akin to a stock market for the NBA's greatest highlights. If you were to tell someone in 1916 that your piece of cardboard with Babe Ruth's face on it would be worth millions one day, everyone would think you're an absolute crazy man. This is the opening tip-off of Digital Age, and NBA's official licensed NFT will be a big part of that digital age. Imagine when the NFTs are even more mainstream on social media. You'll be able to flex what you own around the world instantly, no binders or shoeboxes. If you sign up for Top Shot today, the best way to start is by getting yourself a starter pack. You can pull an NFT of a superstar like LeBron or KD, or a star of rookies like your very own Rookie of the Year, Cade Cunningham, for just $9. If you didn't pull your favorite player from the starter pack, you can snag moments from the marketplace that appeals to you. Challenges are the best way to earn exclusive moments, NFT rewards. Complete challenges to unlock exclusive moment NFTs. You can treat Top Shot like the best of daily fantasy sports. So again, make sure you guys are going and checking out NBA Top Shot, a way to upgrade your experience as an NBA fan. then let me tell you guys a little bit about your guys' favorite sponsor, Built Bar. This is the time of year that I've pretty much given up on all my New Year's resolutions, but not this year. I'm sticking to my resolution to eat right, and it's thanks to Built Bar. It almost feels like it's not even really a resolution because I actually enjoy eating them. Have you guys tried the Puff Bar? If you haven't, you're missing out on one of Built Bar's best tasting protein bars. Puffs are the first ever protein-infused marshmallow. They're fluffy, they're marshmallowy, they're not just a protein bar, they're an absolute treat. And they're covered in 100% real chocolate. And it's not just the Puff Bars, all Built Bars are covered in 100% real chocolate. Yes, 100% real chocolate. Low calories, high protein. Replace your candy bars with these. They taste better and they're better for you. A typical candy bar can be anywhere between 2 to 300 calories, 30 grams of sugar, and dozens of net carbs. Go to Built.com and scroll down to the macros chart. They're better. You'll be absolutely blown away. High protein, low calories. High fiber, low carbs. 130 calories, 4 grams of sugar, 4 net carbs, and 17 grams of protein. And it has all kinds of flavors. Mint brownie, coconut almond. New for this month, white chocolate cookies and cream. You guys know my favorite is the peanut butter flavor. You got cherry barcia, strawberry, raspberry, all kinds of flavors. Make sure you're checking out Built.com to check out those flavors and the limited time flavors that they're always coming out with. At Built Bar, they're all about the taste. They make it delicious first, then figure out how to make it healthy. And I don't know how, but they pull it off every single time. So go to Built.com, use promo code LOCK15, and you'll get 15% off your order. Again, use promo code LOCK15 for 15% off at Built.com. Built Bar, the best tasting protein bar ever. So I want to thank you guys again for making Locked On Pistons your first listen of every single day. We are free and available on all your podcast platforms. And if you haven't already, head to our YouTube channel at Locked On Pistons. Hit that subscribe button. It's the best way to support the podcast. We're on our road to 2,000 subscribers. We're just under 20 subscribers. Try to get it at the end of this. At the end of Saturday, really, when you guys listen to this on the 26th, try to get it by the 27th, really. I think we could do it. Just 20 subscribers, not too far away. But Marvin Bagley had another really good game for the Detroit Pistons. He's been a really bright spot for them since they traded for him. In this game, he was 10 of 16 from the field with 25 points. And if you guys remember, when the Pistons first traded for Marvin Bagley, I came on the podcast, and I told you guys, the Pistons don't need to ask him to create his own shot. The Pistons don't need to have him come in here and try to live up to expectations of the number 2 overall pick. They don't need to ask him to do a whole lot of things for himself. He'll be able to play well if they simply allow him to utilize what he's great at, and that's his explosiveness and finishing around the rim. He should be able to feast off dump offs. They should be utilizing him as a lobster every chance they could. And that's what they've done with him since he's come to the Pistons, and the numbers back it up. So, just real quick. Since he's joined the Pistons, now obviously this is relatively a small sample size because he's not going to have a ton of possessions. He just got to the team, in February. However, since he got to the Pistons, he is in the 81st percentile as a pick and roll big man, ranking in a rating that Synergy would say is very good, scoring 1.29 points per possession. You go even farther down, he's in the 75th percentile in offensive rebound putbacks, scoring 1.23 points per possession, which also ranks as very good. You want to scroll to something that really is what I'm talking about here. And this really exhibits what I was talking about when they traded for him and shows how he can really be used at his best. And credit to Dwayne Casey. I really think that most of the time they have used him this way. However, what I'm saying is around the basket with non-post-ups, excluding non-post-up. Anything posting up, they're not counting it. Just straight up finishes around the basket. He is in the 86th percentile around the basket, rating as excellent. He is of the elite when it comes to finishing around the basket. He is tremendous at it. He doesn't struggle to get the ball in the rim when he gets close. When he gets close to the rim, the ball's going in or you're fouling him. It's one of those two. He's too explosive. He's too long. He has nice touch. He's going to try to dunk almost everything there is. And again, the only way you're probably going to stop him when he gets that close to the basket is by fouling him. And that was on display again against the Washington Wizards. The Pistons are doing a tremendous job of just using Marvin Bagley the correct way. He literally should be able to score 12 to 15 points simply off of just catching lobs and simply off of just getting dump offs. It should be as simple as that for him. The Pistons don't need to run him a lot of post-ups. He doesn't need to try to get ISOs. He doesn't need to try to do dribble drives. You guys know, like, before they traded for him, they had Trey Lyles on the team. And one of the things that Trey Lyles loved doing was pump faking and dribble driving, trying to create his own offense. And for what it's worth, he was decent at creating his own offense. It was a black hole a lot. And he wasn't great enough to make it worth it. But I was worried that the Pistons would just plug Marvin Bagley into that role and he would just be him trying to create off dribble drives, pump fakes, and they would have him floating around the perimeter too much. And I've been pleasantly surprised and happy that has not been the case. He really excels around the basket. They've used him as a roll man. They've used him as a lob threat, and he's been feasting off dump-offs and putbacks. Literally, I believe like all 26 of his 25 of his points. I think maybe one bucket was off of him creating for himself. It was on that dribble drive going to his right. He got that and one on, I believe, who was it? Was it? I believe it was Thomas Bryant he scored on. But either way, it was one play where he actually like tried to create for himself and he scored. I believe everything else was literally just offensive putbacks, dump offs, or lobs. And that should just be it. He can easily score 12 to 15 points a game just off doing that. He could be efficient as hell doing that too. He could be a fantastic player just doing that. That's the type of player you love to have. A guy who doesn't need a ball in his hands to create or to impact the game offensively. A guy who doesn't need to isolate. A guy who doesn't need to, take a bunch of dribbles or whatever. A guy who's able to just feast off playing off of everyone else, play off of his guards. That's a tremendous player to have. So he had a great game against the Washington Wizards, but really he's just been playing really well for the Pistons since coming over. Now, defense obviously is still really bad. He's not very good defensively at all. However, offensively, he's really damn good, and the Pistons are using him correctly, and they're using him to the best of his abilities. And I'm really happy that they traded for him. And I'm really happy that he's a Piston. I'm hoping. I mean, I would be absolutely, utterly like less than a 1% chance that he doesn't resign with the. Excuse me, my God. Less than 1% chance that he doesn't resign with the Pistons or that the Pistons don't sign him to an extension. Less than a 1% chance. There's no way. There's no way they don't. He's played too well, and Troy Weaver likes him. So, really good find by Troy Weaver. Good trade for Troy Weaver. And Marvin Bagley has been fantastic offensively. And I love how that he's been used, and it was on display against the Washington Wizards. Heck, just 2 games ago, he had, a reverse alley-oop dunk. Like, he's just feast off this. Him and Cade have tremendous chemistry. Cade's been wanting that lobster all season. We talked about it all the time on the podcast. He finally has it with Marvin Bagley. And Marvin Bagley, who commented the other day about how he hasn't played with guards like Killian Hayes and Cade Cunningham, who are able to make these type of passes and are looking for you on these kind of roles and all these kind of things. He always played with score-first guards. This has been a good fit for Killian Hayes and Cade, and it's been a tremendous fit for Marvin Bagley, who, when you watch him with the Pistons so far, you think to yourself, how did Sacramento not figure out how to use this guy correctly? Like, yeah, the defense is bad, but how did you not figure out how to use him correctly offensively? Like, the fact that he was plucked in the corner a lot for the Sacramento Kings really makes me, raise my eyebrow about who the hell okayed that from top down. It wasn't just the coaching staff. Like, how is that allowed to happen? It's wild to me, to be honest. But he played really well. Him, Cade, and Killian all have really good games against the Washington Wizards. Pistons lost, improves their lottery odds, but it was a fun game and it was a good game. I think we all can be happy about that. So thank you guys for making Locked On Pistons your first listen every single day. We're free and available on all your podcast platforms. That's all I've got for you guys today. Make sure you guys are heading over our YouTube channel, hitting that subscribe button. I'd really appreciate it. Make sure you guys are making Locked On NBA your second listen of every single day. Locked On experts covering the biggest stories around the NBA every Monday through Friday in less than 30 minutes. It's free and available wherever you get your podcasts. And until Monday, you guys have a great weekend. Enjoy the weekend. I'll see you guys on Monday with a fresh podcast for all you guys. The season's coming to an end, guys. Make sure you guys are appreciating and living up each Piston game, because as much as we all hate the losing and may say, okay, we're ready for the season to end, as soon as that season ends, we all feel differently. We just want Pistons basketball back. I know that's how I'm going to be. So make sure you guys are cherishing each game, having fun with each game, and stay safe out there, everybody. I'll see you guys on Monday. Peace out, everybody.